Hello there. If you followed me for a while, you know that I have a variety of interests and a variety of skill sets. Over the years, I've helped people who have autism spectrum challenges or ADHD, dyslexia, various health conditions, relationship challenges, all those different issues in their lives. I've helped people with those challenges over the years. And probably since the beginning of the year, I've focused more on helping moms and less so ADHD and so on. And a colleague asked me this morning, why is it that I decided not to do ADHD and so forth anymore? And one of the biggest reasons was what I saw as the problem in the lives of people with ADHD was not the problem that they thought they needed solved. A lot of parents would come to me and they would want kids to have tools to help with their executive functions. In other words, help my kid learn to turn their homework on time. Help my kid learn to organize their paper. Help my kid learn to take their test better. Help my kid learn to pay attention in class. And believe me, believe you, I don't even know what the expression is. I agree, those things have their place. They have their importance. But at the end of the day, underneath all of that expectation was a kid who felt stupid, felt like they were a worthless piece of garbage. And when I would explain to the parent that this child needs help, believing that they first and foremost are a worthy human being, that they are good enough exactly as they are, that's where they need help first. The parents didn't want to hear it. Their parents say, well, I tell them all the time we're doing a good job. I tell them all the time how much I love them. Yes, but your child doesn't agree. Your child has different beliefs based upon the feedback they're getting, based upon what they're hearing. I could go on and on with this to explain the disconnect between the perspective of a child who thinks in an all or nothing way and the perspective of a parent who has a couple decades of life experience, maybe appreciates the gray better than their child does, a school with an agenda handed down by the government in terms of what's appropriate and what isn't, what the child needs to learn, what's irrelevant. The child doesn't have any say in any of this. The child's trying to figure out a very confusing world. It's trying to please everybody. Not everybody's on the same page. Not everybody communicates well. It's all the pressures on the child to do well, do your best, be good. And all the while, this child is confused, overwhelmed, and feeling like no matter what they do, they're screwing up. And now, the parent brings this child to me and says, help them do better, help them reach their potential. And what I hear from this child is, I'm not good enough. What I want to do is work with this child on helping them realize their value, that they matter, that they're important, that who they are as a human being is the foundation of what they bring to this world. And yeah, they may end up with a lousy memory. They may end up stinking at math. Guess what? They're not going to choose a career where they're going to need it. I didn't. Maybe they're going to end up doing, driving a bus the rest of their life. The world needs bus drivers. Maybe they're going to be a carpenter. Maybe they're going to fly an airplane. They're going to be an architect regardless, an engineer, social worker like I was for a while. Regardless of what the career is, regardless of what their skill set ends up being, regardless of what the school says they must be in order to be successful. We all find our way, but we find our way when we learn to trust ourselves, to love who we are, to honor our strengths, regardless of what the world is telling us we need to be in order to be good enough. And if the messages are we have to be able to be organized like everybody else, we have to be able to remember everything the moment we're asked. My brain's just freezing for a moment. ADHD, you know how it goes. I guess the bottom line is essentially the work to be done for anybody, especially people with ADHD, Asperger's, is to really get down to fundamentally, when you take away all the layers of who I was told I was supposed to be, how I'm supposed to live my life, as a male or a female, a man or a woman, whatever nationality or religion you associate yourself with. Take away all those layers. Who are you? What are you left with? You're left with your essential humanity, your essential goodness, your capacity to be present and compassionate and loving to another person, starting with yourself. Self-compassion, the ability to love you exactly the way you are in all of your imperfections. That's what people with ADHD, Asperger's, or just any other human being needs to be able to do for themselves. And that is one thing that I teach everybody I work with how to do. Because that's the one thing all of us needs to know how to do before learning any other skill to be more organized, or to put stuff away when we're done with it, or to keep a better schedule, or to stop being late to things, or to turn in our work on time. All that stuff comes later. First, you've got to learn to be compassionate to yourself, to love you even when you trip and fall for the 50th time. Because you're human, you're clumsy, you're learning, you're trying to figure it out. You're doing the best you can, and you're good enough no matter what. So that's just my thoughts on this. Please share your thoughts and comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And until next time, thanks for being you.